All right, well, good enough. So here we are, we're back, and it has been drying now completely. So, let's say I've come back to it another day. And so it has moved from the tape a little bit. That's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and press it down real good and make sure that's all good. And so today what I want to show you is a little bit of a wet into wet technique. So if you remember from before, everything was wet and we were puddling it around and things were going from one thing to another and blending, right? In fact, I even took time at the end of the tutorial to blend this sort of outline of the fish, into the background a little bit. I wanted it to be a little bit blurry. Today, I want it to be a little bit sharper. So let me show you how that's done. Okay, so as usual, we want to start in some place where it's not too scary, right? Some place that it's not going to show big time if, things aren't working out exactly the way we plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this part back here, this little tail part. Okay, so if I get myself some water and I'm just going to paint a little puddle of water wherever I want that puddle to be. So in other words, the shape of the fin. So I now have a little fin-shaped puddle over here. All right, probably hard to see, but just trust me, it's there. So then, let me see, I'm working in this purple. I think I'll go ahead and just work in a little bit darker purples, and then maybe some blues and greens and whatever else. We'll see. Okay. So, but just start with purple because it's not going to be too scary. If I mess up, well, it's just more purple, right? And so let's see what happens. So as I work into here, I can just drop that purple in if I want to. Look at that. So I'm not even going to be, at this point, worrying about painting anything, right? But if I just drop that purple in, what's going to happen is it's only going to go to the edge of that puddle and no further. So that's kind of cool, right? So I can let it do its whole like crazy watercolory cool thing, but in this confined area, and so I don't know, controlled chaos, is that what you call it? Okay, let's clean off my brush a little bit here. And I think let's go ahead and I'm going to drop some green into there as well. Green or blue? Let's see. How about, what the heck, we'll go for it. Put a little bit of green into there as well. And just let it do its whole watercolory thing as it blends around, does its whatevers. Yeah, I like that green. That was a little bit bolder than going with the blue. And once again, like I say, even though I'm not like painting the outline here, what's going to happen is that it will never go past that little bit of water that I put in, right? That little puddle that I've already made. It will never go out. So now I'm just taking some clear water, sort of reinforcing the shape of the puddle that I wanted. And that's it. That's all there is to like the wet into wet technique. Even a little bit more water into there so it can just do its whole blurry thing. Oh, look at that. That's going to be crazy. And cool. And as the paper gets a little bit stressed, that might be a good thing. It's going to add interest. If I wanted to, I could take a dry brush, right? So I've wiped all the water off this brush, and I could take some of that out if it was getting too much, right? Okay, let's try another area. So, if I was to take some water, we'll just go right here, and I'll do the back of the fish right here. Now, if I touch this area, it's going to bleed into it. Actually, that's not a big deal because it's really all one fish. Okay. And let's get a little bit more of that purple. You can see it right here. You see how it's not going any further? It's staying right on that cutting edge right there. That's really cool. And let's see. How about this time? Yeah, let's go with the blue this time. What the heck? And we'll drop a little bit of blue in there. And I don't even have to worry about it. I'm going to leave it light up here. I like that a little bit. And this is a good one. You're really getting to see now a little bit more how it's staying in that puddle. It's not going outside of it. Okay, clean my brush a little bit, and here's a little bit of the green, just to make those colors a little bit more interesting, a little richer. Okay, so but here's the thing. Okay, so now next thing in my order, I'd like to maybe, do the little fin that's up here. But I'm not going to, because if I want a distinction right here, I got to be careful. Remember how when I touched the one puddle with the other puddle, it just became, well, just one puddle, right? So if I was to do that up here, then it would just become one big puddle, and I don't want that. I want that to be separate. That's okay. I'll go work on something else while this is drying. So here's another puddle of water. Okay, maybe some purple into that. So I guide that a little bit. I can guide it a little bit, but it's going to do what it wants to do. I mean, that's the cool thing about the watercolors. A little bit more of this green. And let's see. If I do this area here, that's going to touch that. So it's no longer going to be separate the way that I want it to be. Take a little bit of that out. Okay. So I'm gonna move away from here because I don't want to touch any more of that stuff as far as I can tell. So making sure I have a nice clean brush, I'll go ahead and start working into this other fish. So just as one little puddle, and go into it with a little bit of, how about some yellow? Why not? Because the yellow is going to be harmonious with that orange, and it's a nice safe color to start with because it's very light. It also adds a nice complement to the purple that I got going on up there. And I could even take and making sure I've got a nice clean brush. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of the red. And maybe work it here just a little bit. And you can see it's puddling up, doing its nice little watercolory thing, but in a controlled way. Cool. So the more that I do, the less areas become sort of safe until it all dries. So could I do over here? Maybe, but I'd have to make sure that that puddle didn't touch over here. Otherwise, I'd just get one puddle. Could I do here? Definitely not, man, because then it would probably become one puddle if one of them touched the other, right? If I was careful, maybe, but why push it, right? Just let it happen. But over here, oh yeah, okay, I think I can get away with this one. Okay. And back here, yeah, I could do this one. Oh, it's starting to happen here. You can see this crinkly line right here that's giving me just a beautiful line and much cooler, in my opinion, than, let's say, a strong painted outline. I mean, I might add some of those when it comes into the detailed part, but once again, I want to kind of let the watercolors be, watercolors and just do their crazy thing. Okay, and so at this point, it's been far less than, let's say, one class period. So what I could do is I can put this aside and start working on my next project, because I've got the videos, so you can work ahead, no problem.